Hi, I'm Tony Anscombe, a global security evangelist for cybersecurity company ESET. Welcome to this introduction to our cybersecurity experts' predictions on cybersecurity trends for 2019. A 2018 fact is that malware writers took advantage when possible to monetize their efforts. 2017 was aptly named the year of ransomware, so clearly 2018 has got to be the year of coin mining, and in fact some sources even dubbed it the new ransomware. Coin mining is the virtual process in which cryptocurrency is used to create and keep track of virtual coins. In April, an article on Security.com stated that 1 in 3 organisations in the United Kingdom have been hit with cryptojacking. That's the process of hijacking the resources of a device to start the cryptocurrency mining process, all without the user's consent. By using fileless malware such as scripts that run on web pages, a browser can soon be turned into a cryptocurrency mining machine, hijacking the precious computing resources. If they can infect the device with malware, then a full process not reliant on the web page or browser being open means the mining is run whenever the device is switched on. It's imperative that you keep your device safe and protect the resources from misuse. Updated and running security software, such as ESET, will keep the miners off your machine. 2019 is certain to see a continuation of coin mining and is sure to bring new innovation by cyber criminals in the pursuit of monetization. The cybersecurity industry is about the attempt to protect digital assets from prying eyes. The volume of malicious attacks and code being produced by cyber criminals is immense, which is why the cybersecurity industry leverages machine learning. The mass volume of inbound samples and the ability, through careful training, to entrust the decision to a machine on whether something is good or bad, frees up security specialists to focus on the more complex cases. Machine learning is only as good as the inputs, which is why, with 30 years of experience, ESET is well placed and has a large volume of historic data that allows a machine learning algorithm to make an informed decision on whether or not something is good or bad. As the cybersecurity industry takes advantage of automation, so will cyber criminals. The cost of entry to use machine learning has been vastly reduced in the recent years due to the cloud service providers making resources available that would have once been extremely costly. Cyber criminals could use machine learning to customize malware in milliseconds, allowing it to adapt and change in near real time, both for the avoidance of detection by a security product or because it converts the user into a monetization opportunity faster, customizing phishing sites, spam emails through the real-time manipulation of malware delivery, or even through the hunting for vulnerabilities in an organization's network. Machine learning is a tool that we expect to see cyber criminals use in order to maximize their return on investment. Any company or consumer concerned about the privacy of personal information in the digital age will remember 2018 as the year privacy got serious, with the European Union's General Data Protection Regulation, GDPR, taking effect. The basics of the regulation mean that anyone located in the EU benefits from the robust privacy legislation protecting them, even when they're interacting with services or buying goods outside of the EU. Putting the consumer back in control of their data, or at least making sure they are aware of what is being collected and how it may be used, is becoming a trend as California has followed the EU and signed into law the California Privacy Act, CCPA. The adoption of privacy legislation, even just by California, starts to bridge the divide between the US and the EU. In the EU Charter, a affords an explicit right to the protection of personal data and forbids its collection without permission, whereas the US Constitution has no explicit right to privacy, thus allowing sensitive personal information to be collected and used by companies. There are of course some limitations, but this then comes down to federal law, state legislation, or even individual court decisions. 2019, we predict the first substantial fines for companies not complying with the EU's GDPR regulation, while companies based in California will be busy preparing to comply with CCPA. In 2018, the number of people whose digital privacy was placed in jeopardy by some sort of data breach probably passed the 2 billion mark, and that's before the end of the third quarter. If that number sounds unrealistic, let me remind you that 5 organisations had exposed 1.8 billion records before the middle of the year: Adar, Exartis, Under Armour, MyHeritage and Facebook. In comparison, this number may be deemed small. 7.8 billion and 6.3 billion were exposed in 2017 and 2016 respectively. Despite 2 data breaches, people continue to use Facebook in massive numbers. Whether their trust and sentiment to the social platform remains the same is difficult to judge. Even if they are using Facebook less, the use of Instagram, WhatsApp and Messenger is still increasing, and all of these are Facebook properties. Only time will tell if a lack of trust plays a part in the migration to a new platform, or whether it's a desire for different or new functionality. 2019 may be the year people decide to change, try something different in an effort to diversify their personal online ecosystem. According to IDC, an analyst company, the number of internet-connected devices is expected to grow to 80 billion by the year 2020. In 2019, we expect a corresponding number of attacks. There are numerous examples that demonstrate the scale of the problem and the simplicity in which cybercriminals can launch attacks. A 100,000 device spam sending botnet utilised a 5-year-old vulnerability in a chipset, and then different attacks on routers such as Kana botnet and its internet since 2012. Then 600,000 devices, mainly IoT, were infected with a botnet used to launch a denial of service attack, including the largest one in history that caused disruption to popular sites such as Netflix, Twitter and Spotify. IoT devices providing virtual assistants, Alexa, Google Assistant, Siri and Cortana, with their always-on microphones reside in our homes and may be a controlling hub for other IoT devices. Device owners should consider the privacy implications and understand what data is being collected, stored and possibly shared. With major attacks on IoT and the collection of sensitive data by Home Assistant, cybercriminals may see a huge opportunity, which is why taking preventative measures to secure all connected devices should be a must. The good news is that some legislators are stepping up and taking measures to protect citizens, such as the new law in California starting in 2020 that requires all IoT devices to be sold already configured with a unique password.